I didn't really want to make food at home today, and I also wanted to get outside. So I am out here about to make one of my dehydrated meals at a trailhead that's really close to my house. And hopefully it's gonna be good. Alright, I just gotta unpack my kitchen, which is my 100-gram pot, or 100-gram fuel can, my backpacking stove that has a self-light on it, and then my pot and my foil lid. Make sure the valve is shut. Let's screw it on. This is my lid. Little piece of foil. I like to rinse out my cup just a little bit. All right. Today, this is more beans and rice with pulled pork and eggs. And then my spoon. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and bring that to a boil and then let it sit for a few minutes. Alright, so my food's brought to a boil. Just use a little bit of a rock to hold the lid down. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the heat. And I had this on low for... Oh no, I burned to the bottom of the pot. I had this on low for just a couple minutes. Probably like less than a minute, and then all I have to do now is just leave it off the heat and let it sit just for a few minutes to soak up some of that water, that remaining water. Alright, so in just about three or 4 minutes I was able to go from completely dehydrated meal to fully cooked meal, and now it's ready to eat. I'm gonna go ahead and just stick my foil in my pocket so it doesn't get too dirty, and then just taste my food. You can definitely tell that I burnt it to the bottom of the pot a little bit. But it's actually pretty good. It's not too bad. It's very hot. So I'm going to let it cool down for a minute. Alright, so I finished my food. It was bomb dig. I do have a little bit burned to the bottom. I was a little burnt in the bottom prior, but I burnt a little extra.
And you could definitely taste that in the flavor. Now it's time to do the dishes. Which when I do the dishes, I usually try to scrape as much clean first before I even put water in it to do the dishes. Just so I can make sure. I want to eat the food if I'm going to bring it anyway, so I might as well get as much out of it as I can. And then I'll just put a little bit of water in it. I'll scrub it around with my spoon. It sometimes isn't perfect, which is okay. I used to carry a sponge, and it worked a ton better than the spoon. It's extra weight, and then you don't really want to use it if you ever drop it. So you'll drop it on the first night of a trip on accident. And you won't want to use it for the rest of the trip, and then it's now just wasted weight. And then if you're camping, I go over 100 yards away from camp, and then you want to chuck it real hard. So just kind of mist the food and water over a large area. And that's pretty clean. And then I'll just like from a spoon. And then if you have a little rag or anything, you can just wipe it out the rest of the way. I don't. Probably gonna just wash this when I get home. But other than that, just load everything back up in and you're good to go. Alright, so I went and put my foil lid down in the bottom. Just fold up my little legs on my stove. Make sure this fuel is all the way off. And I try to unspin it as fast as possible to waste as little fuel as possible. And then this just drops. Well, I gotta spin my feet back around. My feet spin around, so they're all facing the same way. This just drops down in here. I drop my fuel can on top, and that holds everything in. Now it's totally sealed. And now I'm gonna go home.